Hello animator, welcome to WebGlow. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create a bouncing ball from scratch using only HTML and CSS. If you've ever wanted to master animation, this tutorial is for you. Let's get started. First, we'll create a basic HTML template, then link our CSS file. Inside the body, let's create a div and give it the class ball1. So type div space class equals ball1. Next, copy the div and paste it 9 more times. Be sure to update the class number from 1 to 10 for each one.
I was blind, now I see the score. And baby, I can't love you no more. I can't love you no more. It's over, it's done. I gave you my all, but you turned and you run. I can't love you no more. Don't need your embrace. I'm walking away.
Now, open your HTML project in the browser using Live Server or any other tool you like. Let's go back to the HTML. Select all the div elements. Cut them out and create a parent div. Paste the divs inside the new parent div and give it the class container. Now we're ready. Let's move on to the CSS file where the real magic happens. We'll go step by step, explaining each property and how it works. Let's start with the container class. First, we'll set display to flex. The display flex property turns the container into a flex box. What this does is give us the ability to align and distribute space between the items inside it. And Flexbox makes sure everything looks neat and organized, even if the container changes size. It's like giving the container superpowers for handling its contents. Next, we have flex direction set to row. By default, Flexbox aligns items in a row from left to right. So, setting flex direction row just confirms that we want our items to be lined up horizontally. You could also change it to column if you want things to stack vertically. Now let's move on to justify content. This property controls how the items are spaced along the main axis, which in this case is horizontal because we're using a row. We've set it to center, which means all the child elements inside the container will be aligned right in the center. So everything will be perfectly centered horizontally. Next up is align items. This one controls the alignment along the cross-axis, which is the vertical axis in this case. By setting align items center, we make sure all the items inside the container are aligned vertically in the center. It's like saying, let's make everything nice and centered, both horizontally and vertically. We also set height to 100 VH. The VH stands for viewport height. So 100 VH means the container will take up 100% of the height of the browser window. This makes the container fill the entire screen height, giving us plenty of space for our elements to move around. Now let's talk about the ball1 class. First, we set width and height to 100 pixels. This defines the size of the ball. Since both the width and height are equal, it creates a perfect square. But don't worry, we'll make it round in just a moment. We set background color to red, which gives our ball a bright red color. You can easily change this to any color you like, green, blue, or even use a hexadecimal color code like number FF0000. Now for the fun part, border radius. We set it to 50%, which rounds the corners of the element. But since the width and height are equal, setting border radius 50% turns the square into a perfect circle. It's like turning a box into a ball with just one line of code. Next, let's talk about position. We set position to relative, which means the ball will be positioned relative to its normal position in the document flow. This gives us the flexibility to move the ball around later if needed, without affecting the layout of other elements. Finally, the magic happens with the animation property. We've set the animation to bounce with a duration of 2 seconds, an ease in out timing function, and set it to infinite, so it keeps bouncing forever. The bounce animation moves the ball up and down, creating that classic bouncing effect. The ease in out timing function makes the movement smooth, starting slow, speeding up in the middle, and then slowing down again. It's like watching the ball bounce in a natural, fluid way. And that's it! We've styled our ball and container with some powerful CSS properties, giving us a perfectly centered, animated, bouncing ball. These properties are the building blocks of so many cool designs and animations. So keep experimenting with them and have fun with CSS. Alright, now let's go ahead and copy the ball1 class and paste it 9 times, just like before. For each of them, we'll change the number from 1 to 10, giving each ball a unique class. So, now we'll have ball 2, ball 3, all the way to ball 10. Next, let's style these new balls with their own unique styles. We can change the background color for each one to give them different colors, and adjust the animation speed for each ball. We can set different animation durations to make the balls bounce at different speeds.
It's over, it's done. I gave you my all, but you turned it, you run. I can't love you no more. Don't need your embrace. I'm walking away. I'm leaving this place. Thought you were the one, but I was wrong. Now I'm moving on. I'm too strong. No more tears, no more pain. I'm done with the lies. I'm breaking the chain. I can't love you no more. You took it too far. Now I'm just me. Healing the scars. It's time to rise, time to take control. I'm letting you go and reclaiming my soul. You said forever, but forever was fake. Now I'm trying to heal, but it's all too late. You took what you wanted, then you let me go. Now I'm finding myself, letting my heart grow. I gave you my heart, but you tore it apart. Now I'm standing here lost in the
So now we've got 10 unique balls, each with its own color and bounce speed. All the balls will bounce, but at different rates and with their own unique style. Now let's create the bounce animation that we've already called in the animation property earlier. This is where we define how the ball will move up and down to create that bouncing effect. Let's start with the @keyframes rule and name it bounce. Keyframes allow us to define the specific steps of an animation over time. First, let's say at 0%, 20%, 50%, 80%, and 100%, we'll set transform translate y0. This keeps the ball at its starting position during these moments, acting as the resting point of the bounce.
You left me in the past, couldn't make it last. I was blind, now I see the score. And baby, I can't love you no more. I can't love
Next,
you no more.
at 40%, let's set transform translate y negative 200 pixels. This lifts the ball 200 pixels upward, creating the peak of the bounce. Finally, at 60%, let's add transform translate y 100 pixels. This dips the ball slightly below its starting position, mimicking the way a real ball compresses when it hits the ground. By combining these steps, we've defined a smooth, realistic bouncing motion. The percentages, like 40% and 60%, represent the progress of the animation over time. For example, 40% means the ball reaches its highest point 40% of the way through the animation's duration. And remember, the transform, translate wide property is what moves the ball along the vertical axis. Negative values like negative 200 pixels lift the ball up, while positive values like 100 pixels push it down. Now, press Ctrl+S to save your work, and there you go. We've done it. We've brought the ball to life. Well, animator, that's all for today's video. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to make a complete 3D spinning cube from scratch. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the bell notification so you don't miss it.